Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to all of the Ticket to Ride maps ranked. And when I say maps, I mean the maps. So for example, you have Japan and Italy. That's a Japan map and an Italy map. And man, this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I always thought, when I have all of the Ticket to Rides, I'll do it. But now I'm missing basically two, which is Mårklin and Berlin. Mårklin is not in retail, Berlin is, but Berlin was sold out everywhere. So I thought, I'm just gonna do it, and then when I do get Berlin or get Mårklin, I'll just put them in where they belong on this list. So let's start off with number 27. Number 27 is probably a pretty controversial one, because it's Japan. I do not like the Japan map. I don't think the hyperrail thing works in it, and if you're unlucky, just get into the cities. Yeah, the Japan map is one of my least. It's my least favorite map. It is my least favorite map of all the Ticket to Ride maps. Japan. Number 26 and number 25 are going to be the rails and sails maps. So I'm putting Great Lakes at 26 and the World at 25. And just because I prefer the world. It's funnier to me to go around the world than it's just go around the Great Lakes area. Yeah, the sails part just doesn't work for me on this one, and making the freaking harbors doesn't work either, because you need tickets to go to those harbors. It's like very much just going into luck, pure luck for this one. So rails and sails, the Great Lakes at 26, and the 25 is the rails and sails of the world. Going in at 24, it is another one of the main ones, because it is just straight up Asia. Now, of course, this entire thing is based around the rules for that map. It's not just the map. And the Asia rules is cooperative rules, and it just doesn't really work for me. The way it's set up, the way you have to sort of do with the ones when you're not really talking, but talking a little bit, it doesn't work for me. So Asia goes in at 24. And numbers 23 through to 19 are the city maps here. So we have, in this order, from 22 to 19, Amsterdam, San Francisco, London, New York, Paris. So all the city maps are ranked here together, because to me they're all just kind of two-player versions of Ticket to Ride. I know that technically with all of them you can play 4 players, but to me they really only work at 2 players, maybe 3. That's sort of where they're really good. So I will always put them at that one, and therefore they're just a little bit lower than the other ones. And this order is, well, I don't know. Ticket to Ride Paris is the one that's just closest to be just Ticket to Ride, because the only thing you have is you can assemble the French flag. That's it. Otherwise, it's basically just Ticket to Ride. London and New York is about specialties. It's more Amsterdam and San Francisco is very much special points on the map that you score points for. And that's what drags them down a little bit, because then you involve a lot of luck. So this is the ranking of these ones. And at number 18, it is Italy. So Italy involves it's a very basic one with boats, ferries, as a special little additional rule to it. It's not a very involved map, it's a very basic map, but it's good. It's a lot better than Japan, at least. In at number 17, we have Switzerland. Down here. Started out as a fan map that was then put into this box alongside India. It's the first time where the small map is ranked lower than the other map. It's a fine, pretty basic map. I love when these kind of small maps involve other countries, and Switzerland very much does that. But in the end, it's a very basic map. And at number 16, we have Legendary Asia down here. Second highest Asian map. Again, it's a fairly basic map, not too much with the rules, just changing up a little bit, making it very good, but putting it here sort of in the middle of it all, because it's not very good, it's not pretty bad, it's just very basic, and it's a Ticket to Ride. In at number 15, we have the Netherlands map, Nederland map. Basically the thing that changes up with this one is, of course, the tolls you have to pay for building certain parts of the road. It's a pretty interesting addition to it. I don't think it makes it exceptionally good, but it doesn't make it bad either. It's a pretty decent addition to it. So, Netherlands. And at number 14 we have one of the newest maps. It is South Korea, the bottom one in this box here. So South Korea is the best Asian map they've released so far. That doesn't speak too much. So there's something in this one about regions of the Netherlands, and you can assemble more points based on that, which obviously very much lends itself to higher player counts. Which, I'll be honest, it makes it a little bit better, but also it's the only map ever where I haven't been more confused, I would say. I don't know, there's something about the colors that makes it pop. So this is one actually for the map. But yeah, again, it's interesting enough with the regions, but we've seen it before. So, number 14. At 13, we have India. Just good old India. So this one also does sort of the regions things, where if you collect some things, you score multiple points. So that's, again, it's interesting enough. It's assembling in certain regions and trying to fit things together, but all comes down to the routes you take out. One thing I forgot to mention is the draft in South Korea. Very good. Anyways, India in at 13. Wait, actually, that makes India the highest ranking Asian map, because India isn't fucking Asia. So India is the highest ranking. Okay, that was kind of stupid for me. Anyways, yeah, 13, India. In at number 12, it's the highest and also the lowest rank Africa map, because it's the Africa map. They haven't made other Africa maps. Really, Africa and South America is really regions they haven't utilized much. But Heart of Africa has a very lovely little way of scoring. Maybe it's about, maybe you say a bit high at 12, it's above halfway done, but I just think it very much works with what they're trying to do. It fits into Africa, I just think it really works. The Heart of Africa, Africa map. Now comes something that might also be quite controversial from me here. Because the United States, the first ever map released, the original Ticket to Ride, is 11th for me. That map is 11th for me. So as I say, this might be a bit controversial. Many people might disagree with me. The original Ticket to Ride is absolutely brilliant. I think the maps below it changes it up in a way that makes it a little bit worse than the original. The maps above it change it up to make it a little bit better. Every map, of course, takes this idea and changes it up. And I think it speaks volume for the power of that there are only 10 maps I can mention that are better than it. But there are still 10 maps better than the original United States map. Let's have a look at those. Also, the United States was the first of the big boxes that arrived. Here comes the second, the Nordic countries map. I don't know really, I've just written Nordic countries, called Scandinavian map, I don't know. But the Nordic countries map is coming in here in 10th, making up the top 10. And I just think it's a little bit better. I think some love is given to it because Denmark is more involved in this one. There are 3 cities for Denmark and a bunch of routes for Denmark. I think I'm Danish, so I think that's probably something that adds to it and makes me rank it above the United States. Lovely little map here. Number 9 is another one that's quite recent for me. I've only played it very recently. And ranks in at number 9, it is map collection 6.5, Polska. Polska? I think that's how you pronounce it. Maybe it's more Polska. Wyszakcho do... No. Anyways, no. I don't speak that language, clearly. This is another one that involves the neighboring countries, but in a very different way, because they are not on any routes. It is an extra thing to do. Just kind of score extra point. When I figured that out, I think there's a pretty big smile on my face, because I love that. I love the fact that you were not gonna get a route from Czechia to some place or something. You had to extracurricularly involve those countries. I love that. I love that. Very much I do. We did accidentally play it with a full set of trading cards. For these map collections you usually have to remove about 10, making it 35. We played with a full set of 45. So we scored quite a lot of points. Not too smart. But absolutely love that part where you don't involve the countries in routes, but you do involve them in extra scoring. Love that. Number 9. I have to look. In at number 8. It is getting increasingly more difficult to rank them properly, but it is going to be the Old West. What I absolutely love about this one is you build out from where you started, and of course it might be a little sneak peek into the legacy of the West, you know, evolving from one place into the rest of the United States. And you have a little Alvin expansion in here, which is just a lovely little character to play as. Comes more into fruition when you're more players, but it's a lovely, lovely expansion in the Old West, expanding outwards. That was number 8. And at number 7, it is the big guy in the all-new map collection 8, Iberia. Oh boy, that is a good expansion. First of all, you have the drafting, and that's a good map. You have the drafting, you draft the cards. It was translated into South Korea, but that feels like an afterthought to what it was in Iberia, because you draft twice, and once you've drafted twice, then you're allowed to take more routes. Brilliant map, with also with the Spanish and the Portuguese, of course, and there was festival scoring. It's a brilliant map. Coming in here at number 7, because other maps are more brilliant. How? At number 6, it's gonna be Pennsylvania, the corner one of these ones here. Pennsylvania I love because of the set collection. I always love a good set collection. It's a decent map. It sort of zooms in on the United States, and you have the set collection of these companies, sort of revolving to the Old West-ish, where now it's companies trying to expand outwards. And I love a good set collection. This one brings its set collection really well, so brilliant. And making up the top 5, starting off with that, is going to be France. The France map is absolutely brilliant. You don't have any colors on it, you make the colors as you go. Brilliant. Absolutely a brilliant expansion, because you have to be careful. Your opponents might use what you lay down. Such a brilliant thing to add to it. Amazing expansion, amazing map. France is an amazing map. I'm getting into the amazing maps now. And at number 4, it is not a set collection, it's Germany. This time you're set collecting the passengers to try and score bonus points from that. The 2 set collection ticket to rides are fairly high on my list. That's interesting. Well, San Francisco is technically as well, but that's lower down. But yeah, the passenger aspect of this one is brilliant. Again, Denmark is involved. There is a route going to Denmark. Always love that. But yeah, it's a brilliant game. I heard it somewhat took out Mårklin, some inspiration from Ticket to Ride Mårklin. I have to say, Ticket to Ride Mårklin is just sort of passengers like this. I'm a bit disappointed. The hype is not worth it. But Ticket to Ride Germany is a really good box. The passengers there. Number 4. And number 3, the bronze medal goes to the United Kingdom map. What I love about this one is you have to upgrade your trains, buy permission to get into Scotland, to Wales, to Ireland, to France. And you upgrade your engines, so you can only take 1 and 2s, and you can take 3s and 4s, and you upgrade constantly. This upgrade aspect, it makes it a hard to understand map. Like there's a lot you need to constantly look. I'm mumbling. You need to constantly look at the cards that you have available and think about that. But it's so brilliant. It is so brilliant. United Kingdom. It's my favorite map from the map collections, and it's my 3rd favorite map overall. United Kingdom. Alright, my top 2 maps both involve Denmark. Yeah, I lovely. It's lovely to see all these maps involving Denmark. Of course, I'm a little bit obsessed with my own country, but I think I'm allowed to do that. But so the ones that are left, I might as well, is Europe and Northern Lights. And if anyone has seen some of my content, you'll know which one is my favorite. So it's no surprise that I bring out the other Scandinavian map, Northern Lights. What I love about Northern Lights are just the fact that you change up the in-game scoring. That is such a simple thing. Of course, what makes Europe the best of them all is the additions of tunnels, of ferry routes, of the stations, all of that. Ticket to Ride Northern Lights have the ferry routes and the tunnels. So that's awesome. But it's just this thing of each turn you have 4 different things to score about, and you of course have these sectors of in the way north Arctic Circle, I think they call it, and down you have certain countries that are split in this. It's such a well-crafted way of scoring these things. Definitely some of those scorings that are easier than others, but it just makes for a really fun game. Northern Lights, the other Scandinavian map, it's my 2nd favorite. And the number 1, uncontested. I actually have to remove all my War of the Ring, these things, to get into it. But the best map that they have produced, and it's the second map they ever produced, is Ticket to Ride Europe. I have the 15th anniversary. I really want the 10th anniversary of Ticket to Ride. But this 15th anniversary, well, not just Europe in general, is the best map that they have produced. I still love it. The ferry routes are amazing. This is the origin of those. The tunnels are amazing. This is the origin of those. The stations, they're so brilliant. They allow you to complete more routes, but they also give you points if you don't use them. Can you get around it? Can you score those extra points? Maybe, maybe not. And just the Europe map, I like a bit more than the United States map, because again, the United States map is just one landmass. Whilst the Europe map, you have the ferry routes obviously being involved. You could have the mountain, the tunnel routes on the United States. They just went invented for that one. But this one is just brilliant. It's a better map. It's a more open map, which I love. And generally, Europe is the best map they've produced. So love it. Yeah, we'll see Berlin once I get a hold of that one, where that ranks. We'll see if Legends of the West. I've heard that you have a map at the end you can just play. Maybe I'll rank that as well. I will also do just a box ranking, where all the boxes rank. Well, actually, let me pull that out right now, because the box ranking is a little bit different. There's 20 boxes, 27 maps. So, at 20th it's Rails and Sails. Italy, Poles, Japan and Italy. Map collection 7 up to number 19. Map collection, is it number 1? It's number 1. Asia and Legendary Asia. It just falters a lot, so it's 18th. Then you have the city maps in that order: Amsterdam, San Francisco, London, New York, Paris. In 12th you have India and Switzerland. And it's just because it's too basic, right? India is very basic, Switzerland is very basic, Netherlands up there. 11th you have Netherlands. And 10th you have Heart of Africa. That's obviously sort of a repeat of what is down there, except for the fact that, of course, India is pulled down a little bit by Switzerland, because they're just one map. Then in 9th you have Iberia and South Korea. That's, of course, South Korea pulling Iberia down quite a bit, I would say. 8th you have regular Ticket to Ride. 7th you have Nordic countries. In 6th you have the 6.5 map collection, Poland. In 5th you have map collection 6, France and the Old West. In 4th you have Germany. In 3rd I will have map collection 5, United Kingdom and Pennsylvania. In 2nd is Ticket to Ride Northern Lights, and in 1st it's Ticket to Ride Europe. So that's my ranking of just the boxes, the collected boxes. I think the map ranking is more interesting, if you ask me at least. If I were to throw in, I have, of course, the card game. Where the heck would I throw in the card game? I would think that would replace Heart of Africa in 10th. So everything from Heart of Africa is pushed down, just going into 10th with the card game. I haven't played Track Switcher yet. I just bought it because it's very, very cheap, like $10 or something. Not less than that, $8 or something. So yeah, that is my Ticket to Ride map ranking, and also the box ranking of all my Ticket to Rides. I still love it. It's the greatest thing ever. Next time I do a Ticket to Ride review, except for the fact that I'm going to do a review of Poland, Iberia, and South Korea, and of course Paris. But once I get hold of Berlin and make a review of that one, I'm going to mention where it ranks. And of course, if I ever get a hold of Mårklin, I mean, you're looking at that one like, that could be the game, the Ticket to Ride map, Mårklin map, that throws Europe off. Europe has been number 1 ever since I first time played Ticket to Ride. It was my number 1 favorite game of all time for a very long time, until of course Super Redo arrived. So, could Mårklin throw Europe down? That'd be interesting. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope this is not way too long, and I'll see you next one.